Gloria entered this world on November 4th, 1935. On August 23, 2015, she was called home to be an angel. Throughout her almost 80 years, Gloria experienced and accomplished many things and made countless memories. Over the next hour or so, we will showcase some of these memories for you. We were lucky enough to have come across a couple of journals that Gloria had kept over the years. These journals were only written during 1994 and 2001, however, the memories kept in them span the majority of Gloria's life. So, friends and family, we invite you to sit back and enjoy this stroll down memory lane as we celebrate the life of Gloria, or as she was better known to most of you, Mom, Grandma, Great-Grandma, Great-Great-Grandma, Aunt, Niece, Cousin, or dear friend. Right from birth, she had many challenges. Being born at just 4 pounds was just the beginning of her struggles.
As you can see, there were a lot of things going on the day Gloria was born.
She was one pretty baby, that's for sure. At the age of 2, the car she was in was struck by lightning. The reflection burned her cornea and caused damage to her eye muscle, which led to patches and several surgeries. She was beautiful, just like her mother. And with everything going on, she still managed to keep up her grades. What an awesome experience this must have been for her, and the fact that she was able to show off one of her many talents at such an early age. Right around age 6, Gloria became ill with rheumatic fever and spent most of a year in bed at home. As her symptoms worsened, she was admitted to Laura Beta Sanitarium, where she would spend another 20 months before going home with a damaged heart. It was during these times I believe Mom's imagination was at work.
At one time, when I was in bed with rheumatic fever, my dad had to put boxes at the bottom of the bed so the covers wouldn't touch me because they hurt. I had 2 doctors. Their names were Dr. George, and they were brothers. Gloria, long before she married Bob, came over and visited with me, and I thought she was the most beautiful girl in the world. I would look at her and trace her profile over and over again so I could remember what she looked like after she was gone.
This is our grandma, our mom, and the famous Mortimer Snerd. And Mom loved those outings with her daddy.
At age 4 or 5, we lived in a home on the 2nd floor. This was around World War II. And I used to go out on the front balcony during an air raid drill, and my dad was air raid warden. I remember watching him go up and down the streets with a flashlight telling people to close their curtains, while other children hid under their desks. Brave, fearless Gloria watched from her balcony.
Due to her illness, the more confined she became, the more her imagination grew, and boy, did it grow.
The beggar, the dying child, and the violin player. The girl that lived downstairs had an old beat-up violin that someone had given her. We used to take an old blanket, lay it on the sidewalk near the house, have my sister Bonnie lay down on the blanket and close her eyes. When someone would walk by, the girl would play the violin, and I would get down on my knees next to Bonnie, clasp my hands in front of me as if I were praying, and say to the stranger, "Please, mister or miss, my sister is dying. Could you give me some money so I can bury her?" We never got much money, but with my friend screeching on the violin, And me crying? We sure did make a lot of noise.
When I was around 6 or 7 years old, my Aunt Joanne stayed with us. We lived on the second floor, and on the first floor lived one of my friends. I've forgotten her name, but her mother's name was Wanda. Bootsy and this other girl would come over, and we'd play, and if I did something my friends didn't like, they would complain to Joanne, who babysat. She would tell me she was going to punish me, and Joanne and I would go up to my home. She would get a cup of water, then she would hit the steps, and I would scream as if she were hitting me. Then she would take the water out of the cup, splash it on my face, and we'd go back downstairs. She would shake her finger at me and say, "If you do that again, you'll get spanked harder." I don't know if we fooled the girl or not, but Joanne and I sure did get a big kick out of it.
We had a radio with an eye on it for tuning. I remember sitting on the floor, cross-legged, staring right at the eye with a bowl of dry Rice Krispies. They snapped, crackled, and popped, and patiently waiting for the familiar voice of Dagwood Bumstead saying, "Ah, ah, 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 don't touch that dial, it's time for Blondie."
I know Mom had more nightmares than she did dreams, but when she did dream, she dreamed big. I'll bet this night she was dreaming some pretty sweet dreams.
According to Gloria's journal, the first dream she really remembers is when she was about 6 or 7 years old. She dreamed she was in a sort of garden, and this thing came into the sky like a flying saucer. There were people in it. It stopped right above her, and some men came down a ladder and said they were going to destroy the world. She was the only one that could stop it. She had to go into her mother's house and take the little glass top out of the coffee pot, go up the ladder, and give it to the woman that was standing at the top. She had to show her how to put it in the pot and use it, and then she could go back down to the ground. The men told her she saved the world, and then they left.
She attended Schurz High School in Chicago, but love and marriage kept her from graduating. She was so beautiful, inside and out. Before they knew it, she was all grown up. And on February 14th, 1953, they gave her away in marriage. This is one of Patty's favorite memories. All four of these special ladies at a Billy Graham crusade. No doubt about it, we wore a lot of hand-me-downs, but Mom made sure we ate, and she was famous for making 5 egg sandwiches out of 1 egg. Don't let these faces fool you. We weren't always as angelic as we look. It was 1964 when she had her first heart operation. She had a pig valve implanted and spent 3 months in the hospital. They say she had so many transfusions that she had the blood of half the sailors of Great Lakes Naval Hospital coursing through her veins. And it took some doing, but eventually, Mom and all 7 of us kids were finally together, living with Grandma and Grandpa on the house on the hill. Yes, you read that right. By age 29, this divorced mother of 7, after having had major heart surgery, got her GED. By the way, did I mention she had 7 kids? My grandparents bought me a $10 savings bond when I was born. When it matured, my dad cashed it in. So I would not be left out, Mom took me to Goldblatt's in Logan Square and let me spend the stamps she had collected to Christmas shop. Grandma got a very gaudy necklace that year. Doug remembered that when we were going to Fairfield Avenue Baptist Church, he drew a picture of 3 crosses on the hill, and one of the younger brothers, not calling anyone out, spilled a drink on it. Doug was sad and thought it was ruined, but Mom grabbed a brush and made sun rays from the spill. I bet that put a smile back on Doug's face. Bill was remembering all the walking we had to do before Mom got her license. I'm pretty sure we weren't smiling too much on those days. I'll bet this happened early in Mom's driving career, and somewhere in the background the associations were playing Windy on the 8-track. Debbie and Mom were making memories every time they got together.
August 1966. Frank woke up in the morning and had birdseed in his right ear. We took him to the specialist. The doctor took out approximately 20 seeds. They had been stuck to his eardrum. We have no idea how they got there. He said he didn't put them there.
They have plenty to catch up with now. I asked Dale if he wanted to add anything on here. He jokingly said that Mom had to try 7 times to reach perfection. I told him that she got it perfect the first time with me and she should have stopped then. The fact is, none of us made perfect, but Mom loved us all the same even with all of our imperfections. Maybe I should say cement. It took a lot to try to keep this group in check. All these years later, and I still can't grasp how she was able to do it all. We love you so much too, Mom. Everyone really did grow in different directions. There's not much you can say about sisters. Sometimes they didn't get along. Sometimes they did things together. Lots of times it was a competition. But in the end, they were sisters, and they loved each other. Because they were so close in age to her, the Longs were more like siblings than they were aunt and uncles. Aunt Claudine introduced Mom to Parents Without Partners. She was part of the group for several years and was even editor of their newsletter. Divorce never affected how Mom felt about Dad's side of the family. She loved every one of them like her own and showed it whenever she could. Mom married Ed in 1980 after all the kids were grown. They both loved to travel, and taking long car rides was one of their most favorite things to do. Selling Mom's arts and crafts and attending flea markets was another. And of course, spending time with family was important too. They both loved the holidays, but sometimes things were hidden a little too well. I found the 2000 Christmas gifts in 2009. Of course, the kids had outgrown their toys by then. All that driving, they really got around. That's right, 7 generations of firstborn daughters, starting with Mom's grandma Clara and ending with her great-great-granddaughter Alina. Mom falls number 3 in this line of 7 generations. I think it's pretty special when you have 3 generations of 5 generations captured in pictures. I snuck this one in for being cute. Yes, thanks to me, Mom was one young grandma, but she was also one proud grandma. Special dances for a special lady. I certainly could not have said this any better myself. Mom loved getting mail, especially pictures from the grandkids.
Rob called and asked how to make baked beans out of pork and beans. I talked to Doug later and he said they were terrible. Rob added onions and mushrooms to them, but at least he tried.
I don't think I can use the excuse early in her driving career for this one. With so many birthdays in October and November, sometimes you just have to share, but it sure makes it a lot more fun. This is between Mom and her grandsons. Mom always loved decorating for the holidays, and she always made sure there was enough to go around. These girls definitely had a lot to do with Mom smiling and laughing every single day. They were her biggest cheerleaders. $25,000, 28 great-grand, and 5 great-great-grand, and she loved every one of them. Mom kept the 411 on every member of the family.
Talked to Darlene today. Everyone is fine out there. Tristan is almost starting now to walk.
Doug was so funny yesterday. He ate some of Heidi's dog biscuits. She got mad.
Just got back from the Anderson Animal Shelter. We, Dale and I, got an American Eskimo dog. pure white, beautiful male and gets along with Heidi. He has a microchip in his ear to find him if he gets lost. Also a chain and collar, neutering, and vet exam all along with it, all for $65. I think it's pretty good. Amber and Robin came over. They're going to the store for me. And later, Robin and her husband brought groceries for me.
Mom really could do everything she put her mind to. She was an operator, a secretary, bank teller, newsletter editor, a hostess, a baker, and even a candlestick maker.
I've been feeling pretty good. Talked to Deb, Darlene, and Donna. Doug called from Puerto Rico. He got a sunburn.
Mom loved all the creatures, big and small. But she loved her doggies most of all.
Just after I ate, Bill came in and wanted to take me to Red Lobster. I went and had a good time.
There are just no words to describe this relationship. Mom's right when she said she got all the good genes. It's hard to believe she's 65 in this picture. On July 1st, 2009, I flew to Las Vegas to bring Mom home with me. It would be the first of 2,243 days I would spend with her. I have to admit, the first couple days were pretty scary and awkward. After living in different states and 1,000 miles apart for some years, Mom and I were like strangers in a lot of ways. From the first day, my biggest prayer was that God would give me what I needed to take care of Mom. He did not let me down. And while this picture wasn't from that day, I believe they had the same look and were just as scared when I picked them up. Marty really loved Mom and treated her like a queen, and thanks to him, we have thousands of picture memories of her. Over the next 6 years, Mom and I really bonded. Not one day was there any discord between us. Mom laughed and giggled every single day. Sometimes she laughed just to laugh. Sometimes she laughed so hard she'd cry. Sometimes we both laughed so hard we both cried. One time, we both laughed so hard we both peed our pants on the way to the bathroom. Laughter truly is the best medicine. And with many thanks to Dr. Feldman, who treated Mom's physical, mental, and emotional needs, we managed to keep her hospital-free for 2,241 days. On the way home from the beach one evening, Mom was singing this song. I asked her what it was, and she said it's a song that her and Bonnie used to sing all the time. I had to look it up when I got home. This was the first of 3 Rat Pack concerts for Mom, and yes, she got emotional. On this visit to the aquarium, Mom and that old sea turtle really seemed to bond. Just a small sample of the many times Mom was brought to tears of joy. Mom informed me at 7 a.m. that I messed up her plans. She wanted leftover stuffing for breakfast, and I told her I put it in the turkey soup last night. Thank goodness I had a box of stovetop on hand. Heaven only knows how she lost weight and kept her diabetes manageable with the things she ate. When it came to food, no was not a word that we used for the last 6 years. No one knows how she ended up on that wall in a bar in Puerto Rico. Have you ever seen so many sweet and cute expressions on one person? She was one crafty lady, that's for sure. There was nothing she couldn't make. It was a little scary getting in, but Mom enjoyed the pool and so did Izzy. Again, Mom was fearless when she rode Spaceship Earth. Mom was overwhelmed seeing the whale jump out of the water for the first time. It was in 2010, while we were still on our Disney trip to Florida, that Mom asked, "Where's the Bahamas?" We got to knock that off of her bucket list in 2014. It's not a concert without a treat. Or should I say every treat deserves a concert. I asked Mom what she wanted for her 75th birthday. She said she wanted to dance under the stars. And so she did. So we're waiting at the airport. Mom says, "You have something under your eye." Thinking it's makeup, I wipe my eye and ask, "Did I get it?" And Mom says, "No." I say, "Mom, you get it since I can't see it." Mom reaches her finger up under my eye and wipes with her finger. Then she proceeds to burst out in laughter. She's laughing so hard she can't get the words out. I'm asking her, "What's so funny? What is it?" Finally, while still laughing, she bursts out, "It's a bag. You have a bag, a big bag under your eye." Our first circus together, Mom was overwhelmed and had the excitement of a child. We both ended up crying our eyes out. After we got home, Mom asked, "Can we go again? And can we get one of those big elephants?" So our second trip 2 days later was more fun and less emotional. And thanks to Doug and Bill, Mom got her giant elephant. We all had a lot of fun when Debbie came to visit. And being Debbie, she fixed a few things while she was here. That was a big help. Mom loved being pampered, but she was most comfortable in her room with her private team. Mom loved going to all kinds of concerts, but the ones she loved most were the ones that starred her son. Every holiday, Marty gets Mom a card just from him. Mom opens a Christmas card from Marty and reads it. I noticed that he didn't sign my name to it, and Mom laughs, turns it over, and says, "And it's a Hallmark." I told Marty I noticed that he didn't sign my name to it, and he said, "The card says from your son-in-law. Are you her son-in-law?" Mom and Izzy both were excited to get this mail from Mongolia. After barely getting a nibbles, Mom finally asked if I was going to use her for bait. From Judy, Mariana, George, and David on the Longino side, to all the Taylors, Mom loved hearing about the old and the new family members being found. This was the new Mom. After glaucoma and cataract surgery in both eyes for the first time in 75 years, Mom didn't have to wear glasses anymore. Oh, if I had $1 for every bingo game Mom played. What a grand reunion it was seeing all those family that we hadn't seen in so long. For some, it had been almost 50 years. So many people sent Mom cards and mail. We got to meet these people in person while on vacation at different times. Mom really enjoyed Sydney's artwork. It really made Mom happy when Aunt Ginger, Cookie, Wendy, and Becky all came to town. Mom's first presidential rally, and she never got tired of chanting 4 more years. Okay, Mom, I'm getting ready to make you a ham sandwich. Do you want it on rye or white? Rye. Do you want it toasted or untoasted? Toasted twice. Would you like mustard or mayo on that? Mustard. Cheese or no cheese? Cheese, sliced thin. Okay, you want a ham on rye, toasted twice, with mustard and cheese sliced thin, right? No. No? What do you want? Spaghetti. Yes, that's how Mom was. She was always willing to share almost anything she had, except maybe when it came to popcorn. I might get in trouble for this one. This was probably one of the coldest days ever in the Bahamas, but Mom braved that water so she could swim with those dolphins. Not only did we get to check off the Bahamas, the cruise, and swimming with the dolphins from the bucket list, but we had a wonderful time at the Workman 50th anniversary party. Thanks for inviting us. It was so nice to have such a cozy place to chill before and after our Bahama cruise. Solving some of the riddles that Mom threw at me once in a while was not an easy task, but eventually I figured it out. As you can see, they were both very scared to be at that vet, and happy to finally be home in the end. Mom patiently waiting to see Santa. I never did find out what they were talking about, but they sure did look cute together. It was 4:30 a.m. when Mom rang on this morning. What did she want? She wanted Swiss cheese sliced thin with Grey Poupon mustard. Of course we didn't have that since she'd never mentioned it before. I gave her a snack and she went back to sleep. For breakfast, what does she want? Swiss cheese with Grey Poupon mustard. I say, Mom, we don't have that in the house. What else can I get you? She finally says crepes. As I take her plate away, after she finished her crepes, I'm walking out and she says, Swiss cheese sliced thin, not Alpine, with Grey Poupon. Marty went to the store, and that's what she had for lunch. A difficult task for even the strongest, our mom maintained her title of Mother of the Year for an incredible 61 years. We, her children, attribute this amazing feat to Mom's ability to stretch a meal, acquiring a number of useful hobbies and talents, and being able to improvise at the last minute. She never lost faith, and she loved 7 pretty strong-willed kids while always managing to meet their needs. Mom never let blood be a deciding factor on who was considered family. She loved everybody. Mom really loved the petting zoo and all of the animals. This would be her last outing. Originally, I started this project months ago as a special 80th birthday present for Mom. I didn't know then that it would end up being her memorial. Over the last months, I had been trying to get Mom to answer one burning question. "What's your favorite color, Mom?" I'd ask, and she would giggle. As time went on, it became a game. Whenever someone came over, they would ask, "What's your favorite color?" And Mom would reply with a giggle. I never did find out what her favorite color was. Maybe she's like me and doesn't really have one. Maybe every color is her favorite color. This is a little feral kitten that found a home with Rachel. His name is Freddie. They were the last two from their generation. Now Aunt Ginger carries that torch alone, prayerfully for many more years to come. Mom would often say the darndest things. One morning I asked her if she wanted pancakes for breakfast. She said yes, but shredded. Then she proceeded to tell me about her dream that my Aunt Bonnie was drilling a hole in her ear. It was 3 a.m. when Mom rang to tell me she had dropped something. After searching and searching, and her laughing and laughing, watching me look for something I couldn't find, I finally told her to go back to sleep and I would get it in the morning. It wasn't until I was walking out of the room when I found out the real reason for her ding, when she asked me, "What do you got to eat?" I was sitting in Mom's room talking to her, and she kept moving her eyes around looking into space. The sun was coming in from behind her, and she could actually see the little particles in the air. She'd never seen them before her surgery. It was so awesome. In 1996, Mom wrote this article about her near-death experience in 1983. A few weeks before her passing, the hospice pastor, Gary, spoke with her about it. It was rare that Mom would speak, so when he asked her if she had any fear of dying, and she answered no, it was a relief and a very special moment. We congratulate and celebrate Mom's new promotion to Incredible Angel Mother of the Year. While we will miss her earthly physical presence, we will be reminded daily of the love that she has left behind in our hearts. Thank you, Mom, for all the love, strength, and kindness that you have contributed to so many lives. Bill came to visit on this day and asked Mom the question, "What's your favorite color, Mom?" And Mom replied with a giggle. And before he left, Mom got a private Elvis concert. She didn't speak a word, but her eyes followed him everywhere. Just precious. This was a very bittersweet day for my brother. From what I believe were a series of small strokes, Mom began a rapid decline. By Tuesday, August 18th, she had become unresponsive and was no longer eating or drinking. On August 22nd, the girls came to say goodbye. Mom's blood pressure had dropped and her breathing was sporadic. I had moved into her room the week before and had hooked up to Skype so that some could say goodbye that way. As the evening wore on, Mom's numbers rallied and the house emptied. Marty, as tired as he was, could not justify sleeping in his bed when Mom lay dying in the next room. He felt it was disrespectful, so he slept on the couch for days. It was just me and Mom. I sang to her and told her about her waiting angels and that we would all be right here. I put a dab of chocolate ice cream in her mouth and told her that even though there was not going to be a funeral, I was going to fix her up just like there was one. I was tired and laid down next to her for a while. About 3 a.m., I woke up and had the thought that maybe Mom didn't want to wait to pass on before I made her beautiful. Maybe she wanted to go out looking more beautiful. I had already polished her nails the evening before, so I wiped her face and put her makeup on, and I used her hair iron to smooth her hair out. Then I finished washing the rest of her up and put lotion all over. I dressed her in her flowing purple gown with flowers. She wore her mother's necklace, her bracelet, and her gold leaf earrings. She held the Lord's Prayer cross Doug got her, and I laid her favorite angel down next to her. Mom was beautiful. I laid back down with her for a bit and got up about 8:30 to give her her meds that were down in the fridge. After I gave them to her, I sat down and turned on the computer. At 8:48, I looked up at Mom to see that she had taken her last breath. I opened the windows and I kissed and hugged my mom goodbye. Poor Izzy had a hard time saying goodbye, too. Mom did find that place where her dreams and our reality collided.
In this dream, everyone that was there were people that I loved, but that were dead. Aunt Ann, Aunt Tessie, Grandma Min and Grandpa, Rob, Bill and Cordy, Aunt Agnes, Uncle Ernie, and others I can't think of right now. We just all sat around and talked as if nothing had ever happened to them, as if it were now, and they were still alive.
Then I had a warm, beautiful, peaceful feeling, and I knew everything would be all right.